Bogdanovic. They can space the floor. Okay, you want to load up in the lane? There you go, Bog. There you go, Holiday. Skip, for me, sometimes in a relationship, and that's what the Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks said. They're in a relationship. And sometimes you have to change in order to hope the partner stays. Now, there's no guarantee. You just know if you don't change, he or she's leaving. They're doing everything they possibly can to convince Giannis, you see what we did? Skip, did you see what they gave up to get Holiday? 3 first rounders and 2 swaps. That's what the Lakers gave up to get AD. Now, I got no problem with what they gave up. You got to do it. Because this is what you know, Skip. If you don't do it, he's gone. If you look at the top, let's just say the top 10 players in the last 5 years, AD, he left. Bron left. KD left. Kawhi left. PG left. Harden's leaving. Russ leaving. Only the Greek freak has stayed. Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, Jokic, and Embiid. Those are your top players in the NBA, Skip. 7, 8 of them have left or are on the cusp of leaving. So you have to do everything, and this is why when you say superstars run the league, Skip, what NFL team you know doing this? Okay, bye. But you can't do that in basketball because he can impact the game on so many different levels on both ends of the court. So them doing this is showing Giannis, bro, we doing everything we possibly can. Please just sign on. I mean, I ain't never seen somebody have to beg you to sign a $250 million contract, Skip. They're basically begging him. They've rearranged their roster. It's the same thing. And look, when you do this, Skip, if he doesn't sign, you're screwed. And that's what James Harden and Russ' situation is about to do to the Rockets. Because they gave up what they gave up to get him. Now, they're going to get something back for James Harden. But I don't care what you get back. You're not getting James Harden. That's a generational talent, Skip. Those guys don't come along often. So if I'm Giannis, okay, you showed me what you would. Okay, I can live with this.
So for Giannis' sake, I hope you're right. I don't see it at all.
Oh, you don't like this, Rock?
No.
Oh, they're coming out the East.
I'll give you maybe a little bit better, but no more than a little bit better, because New Orleans, David Griffin, they just committed highway robbery in this deal.
I'm
sorry.
That's an AD deal.
Okay, but they got back Eric Bledsoe. I like Eric Bledsoe. I'm not saying I love him.
Right.
But right now, Eric Bledsoe and Jrue Holiday, it's kind of like 50-50.
No.
Okay, wait a second. Jrue Holiday has made 2 all-defensive teams.
Yeah.
So has Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah.
And Jrue Holiday might be a nicer guy because he's a really good sort of teammate leader type. Okay, maybe that'll help. Maybe a little better, but I can't forget that night. Remember, it was 2 years ago on a Friday night that Milwaukee played here, and Eric Bledsoe got his big new deal and just took the game over, and they just shredded the Lakers. Do you remember that Friday night game? He was the star of the game, and afterwards they interviewed him. It's so great to get my money. I feel like I earned it, blah, blah, blah. How much better can you make Giannis than best record in basketball the last 2 years, and they were the best defensive team each of the last 2 years. I'm talking about in the whole league. They led the NBA in defensive efficiency twice in a row. Okay? So the only way you can really get Giannis the help he needs is you have to get him an equal. You have to get him a co-star. You have to go get him Anthony Davis, and they don't grow on Southern California trees, on palm trees, right?
Right.
Okay? So to me, this is hard on me because I'm not a fan of Giannis. I've never loved him because he is supremely talented without supreme self-confidence.
Right.
Every time it's push comes to shove in the playoffs, he just shrinks.
Well, Skip, because because you know in the playoffs, Skip, okay, I got you for 2 weeks. I don't got to worry about playing you and then going to Portland and going to L.A. or going to Brooklyn. I got you for 2 weeks. That's what I know. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a fort. And I'm not going to let you enter. And if your guys can't make shots, well, Bogdanovic can make shots.
Okay.
Holiday can make shots.
Or if Giannis can't make a 10-foot jump shot, we got you.
Right. Correct.
Okay. And Giannis cannot make free throws. He makes them a little better in the regular season, but come playoff time, the last 2 years, he's terrible. He's around 50-some%.
Right.
It's not good enough to be a superstar. And if you look at the numbers, so best record in basketball, then they lost to the Raptors in 6 in the conference finals. And in the fourth quarter and overtime of those games, he was a minus 29. And if you look at his shooting numbers, they're just pathetic.
Right.
He just shrank and shriveled up and became a nobody. Yeah. He was useless to them. And then last year they lost to the Heat in 5. He didn't play the last game. You remember he got banged up. But if you look at the 3 fourth quarters he did play, he was a minus 30. He wasn't very good. He shot 21% from 3 in that series. He can't measure up to his MVP regular seasons with any sort of MVP impact in the postseason. Well, this is my gut level advice to him. I would play your deal out. He's got 1 more year and hit the market and join forces with somebody. Go somewhere.
Skip, where they bringing it to him. Skip, I mean, he said he didn't want to join. That's something. Look, a lot of people have said
you buying? Because I'm not buying what he's selling.
Skip, I don't. Well, look, it's not from like a trying, Skip. Now he said he wanted to see a commitment. Skip, if I buy you a ring, am I not committed? If I'm doing everything you're asking me to do, I'm not hanging out with my homeboys. I cleaned up my act. I'm helping around the house.
Yep.
I mean, they've done everything you've asked them. They got him Holiday. They got him Bogdanovic. They got him another shoot. They got him 2 shooters, a guy that can defend. I don't know what else he wants him to do.
Okay, I hear you about Bogdanovic. Every time I watch Sacramento, he just comes in, and he's not a starter, but he will just
light it up.
And he is absolutely fearless, without conscience. He will fire from anywhere at any moment.
Remember he hit that big 3, he beat the Lakers at the buzzer.
I got it, and I give you that. But Dante DiVincenzo is a really nice young player. He's only 23. He's only played 2 years. He will become a more impactful all-around player than Bogdanovic will be. So I think Sacramento will ultimately get the better of this deal. And I'm going to remind you, I'm not the biggest fan of George Hill from his days in San Antonio, and he actually got traded for, if you can believe it, for Kawhi Leonard. But the point is, even though he was more of a 6th man, he led the NBA in three-point shooting last year with 46%. I know it's a smaller scale, but he qualified. So, again, wasn't he a good enough? I know Bledsoe's not a great shooter, but he's a scorer. And he can be a factor and a force. So, really, did they get that much better than they were? I don't think so.
I believe they are, Skip, because here's the thing. Holiday is a better shooter than Bledsoe. Bogdanovic is a better shooter. I don't care what anybody says. He's a better shooter than George Hill. He's a more consistent shooter than George Hill. Now, he gets up 7 threes a game. Skip, they need the floor spaced. Because if you look at LeBron, look at what LeBron loves shooters around him. So he can. So if you clog the lane, I'm gonna kick. Now Giannis is not the passer that LeBron is. He gets in trouble a lot. He draws a lot of charges. A lot of his fouls are charged because he's running over people. He hasn't figured that aspect of the game yet. But Skip, with these spaces on the floor, now you can't just clog the lane. It should be easier and better for him. Now, if he can't get to the finals, the Nets loading up too. Losing to the Nets won't be but losing to Toronto, and losing to the Heat will be unacceptable.
I would agree. Okay, I'm going to remind you on Jrue Holiday, he's now 30 years of age. And you say, did you add a star? Well, he made 1 all-star team, but it was forever ago because he's played 11 seasons. It was way back in 2013 in Philly that he made 1.
Well, you ain't waking up, Skip. Now, you know you ain't making no all-star team coming out the West at the guard position with Russ, Harden, Steph, Dame.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, did they add another star? No, they did not.
I think he's a star, not a superstar. You want Giannis paired with a. You want Giannis paired to an equal.
I think he needs it.
Oh, okay.
And I think deep down he knows he wants it. And I think deep down these are just sort of moving it's like a shell game. Like, well, we made this move and that move. You're making moves to make moves, and you gave away a bunch of future because you gave away a bunch of picks.
Because they're going to be late. They're saying, look, if we're what we think we are, they're going to be in the high 20s or 30s, so we don't care. You're not getting anybody with those type of draft picks. I mean, Giannis, Middleton, Holiday, Lopez, Bogdanovic. You got 3 guys that can shoot the ball, can spread the floor, and Giannis can have his a layup line to a conga line. Now, because you know what happened. Remember the Mavericks had that conga line on y'all, the Clippers? They should have won. If Porzingis hadn't got hurt, you'd have been out in the first round. But that's neither here nor there. Nuggets took care of y'all. Skip, I like this lineup. I like it. I like it more than you do.
It all comes down to how great is Giannis. And if he's that great, they'll get to the finals. And if he's not...
Well, hold on. If Giannis get to the finals over Brooklyn, what does that say about your guy?
Which guy?
Whichever one you want to claim.
You mean the best player on the planet, Kevin Durant?
He can't be if he can't get to the finals with that firepower he got.
There is no way that this Milwaukee team, even upgraded, quote unquote, will get past the Brooklyn Nets with or without James Harden. With or without.
Are you sure about that?
As is the Nets right now. I'm picking them. I still think they're much better than this team. And obviously, I trust the best player on the planet and a Kyrie who made the shot of shots to win a ring for LeBron, his only ring in Cleveland. I will trust those two over this one. It's 2-1 in superstar.
First of all, the guy that's the best player on the planet, I think he's in Mykonos. He's celebrating, he and his mom. I saw them, they're having a good time. So you don't need to reference him.
He's celebrating a lot.
Why shouldn't he? You the king.
I hope what happened in Vegas stayed there.
Don't do that. Don't do it. Why can't we celebrate?
He might have aged 2 years in one off season.
Hold on.
And it's a short off season.
We about to talk about a guy that's celebrating one.